In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these socks, which I like to call slogs because my husband said they look like clogs. They're kind of like slipper sock booties, worked from the toe up. It's super easy. You work it in one piece, so you only have 2 ends to weave in per sock. If you want your sock to have a longer ankle, all you need to do is keep working in the round at the ankle until you get the length that you would like. And then the yarn that I used for this project was a bulky number 5 weight yarn by the brand Premier, and it was an acrylic and bamboo blend, I believe. I also used a 5mm hook, some scissors, and a tapestry needle to weave in my ends. So let's go ahead and get started. We need to start with a magic ring that's going to have 6 single crochet. So we are going to be working in the round, and we're going to be joining the end of each round with a slip stitch into our first stitch of the round. So you should have 6 stitches in your magic ring, and then we can go ahead and close that all the way. Now to begin round 2, we're going to chain 1, and that is going to count as our first single crochet of the round. And then we're going to also add a second single crochet into that same stitch. We want to increase in every stitch of this round, so we're going to put 2 stitches in every stitch. That's going to give us 12 total at the end. So in the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 more single crochet. That is an increase, and we're going to just repeat that in every stitch. And just like we did in the previous round, we are going to finish this round by joining it with a slip stitch, and we're going to slip stitch into our chain 1 because that counts as our first stitch. So we don't want to skip that chain 1, we want to slip stitch right into it, and I'll show you how that looks, making sure to go under 2 loops of that chain when you are slip stitching into it. And that will conclude round 2. We're going into round 3 now. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put 2 single crochet into the same stitch. That's going to be our stitch pattern. It's single crochet increase. So we're going to do that 5 more times. That's 1. That's 2. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I've done that 5 times. That'll take us around the circle. So at the end of the round here, I'm going to slip stitch into my chain 1, and that will finish off round 3. We're starting round 4 now. Same thing, we're going to chain 1, but in the next stitch we're going to just put 1 single crochet. In the stitch after that, we will put 2 single crochet, which is our increase. So the stitch pattern is 2 single crochet increase, and we're going to do that all the way around. So I need to do that 5 more times. We're going to slip stitch to end the round into our chain 1, just as we have been doing, and that ends round 4. Now from rounds 5 to 18 are going to be the same thing. It's just going to be 24 single crochet around, but my first stitch is actually a chain 1. So chain 1, 23 single crochet, that's going to give us 24 stitches total around the circle, and we're going to do that from rounds 5 to 18. just single crochets around. That's what it's going to look like at row 18. So on row 19, we're going to do 14 single crochet. So all that means is I'm going to do chain 1. That's my first single crochet. So that first chain 1 is a single crochet. And then I'm going to do 13 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So that's what 14 single crochets is going to look like. We have 14 single crochets, okay? Pick up my work. I'm going to turn my work as if I'm working regular rows, because that is what we're going to do now. Don't forget this last stitch right here was just a chain 1, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. So this is what it looks like if you flip it. You could see that I would have missed that stitch. So I need to make sure to get into it, and it's just going to be right there. Now I have all 14 stitches. I can turn my work again and continue. As you can see, we are basically making one side of the sock longer. Go ahead and keep working up these rows until I get to row 28, and then we'll stop at row 27. We'll do row 28 together, and then I'll show you how we're going to close the back of the sock. Okay, so we have, let's count the rows so you can kind of see here where it starts. This was our last row in the round right here. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so we have 27, row 27 done. This is how the sock looks. And now we're just going to do row 28 like normal. 28th row. And so I can go ahead and make my 7 single crochet. So I did my 7. I'm folding the sock so I can connect the back together. The yarn remains in between. And we just want to make sure that all the stitches are aligned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to join this stitch, this 7th stitch, to to this 7th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's why it's so important to make sure that there's 14 stitches. So I can just slip stitch. If that's too hard for you to just get into that stitch like that, or you can chain one to make it easier to get into that stitch. So just don't count that when we're aligning these stitches if you decide to do that. I have my yarn in between the two sides, the two fabrics. I'm going to look here and I'm going to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I'll put my hook in there. And let's make sure on this side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're just going to go through that one as well. Pick up the yarn and slip stitch through that one, through all three, through that stitch, and our original loop. Just slip stitch through all three of those. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So if I look, this is my next stitch. If I'm not sure, just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's stitch number 6. I'll go in there. And then on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And pull my yarn through all three. So as you can see, it's starting to create that surface slip stitch. Let's go to the next stitch. As you do this, it gets easier to see which stitches are next, but it definitely helps to count as at first to make sure everything's lined up. And here's the last one. And now it's connected on the back, and as you can see, yeah, it is pointy. And also there's like that little tiny flap. That's from us chaining one. If you don't do that, it actually does not do that. Okay, so I just zoomed out and we surface slip stitch the ankle together. This is how the sock is looking. As you can see, we can now put our foot in here. Like you could actually, like if you didn't want to keep going, you could just leave it like this. It's almost there, as you can see. The only other difference now is I'm going to add a couple of rows in the round, and we're going to go around, and that is it. That is literally it. So let's see how we are going to do that. I just want to show you how everything looks. So there's the base of it. And this one I tried on the two. That's why it's all like kind of stretched out. This will stretch out as well once we do the whole thing. But let's get our hook back to where we were. And now I'm just going to open this up and we're going to work in the round now. We're going to go around this way. So this is where we're at. I'm going to chain one, and that's going to be the first single crochet of the round, how we did it previously when we were working in rounds. So this is going to be round 30 because we're going back to rounds, and we're going to end up with 31 single crochets when we go around this. So let's do this together because it can be tricky sometimes to see where you're supposed to insert your hook when you're going on the side of single crochets. There's no like exact perfect way to do it, but this is how I've seen a lot of people do it. So without further ado, anyways, we have our first one. So we need 31, so now we just need 30 more. I'm going to go right in here. So as you can see, there's kind of like these separations in the stitch, you can see there's like a yarn going this way and then yarn looping over this way and then looping over. There's kind of like a separation. Each of these are separated. So we're going to try to put one stitch in here and one stitch in that one. One in here, one in that one. One in here, one in that one. So I'll show you how that looks. Start with one single crochet. First single crochet in there. And we're not going to actually go into these joints. It's just right before the joint. So we go in here under that one, single crochet. Right before this joint is where you're going to put your hook. So far we have 3. The chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get 31, so I'm going to go under the horizontal yarn. And right before the joint, I'll put my hook in there. I'm going to skip over the joint and go under this one. And then go right before it. I did 2 of those rows. Let's do one more of 31 single crochets going around, and that'll be the end of this sock. I'll have 2 matching socks that we can look at, and then I think after that we'll just see how many rows can I get on this ankle, because right now this is all the yarn I have left, and then the yarn is still attached on either side to these. Both of these socks are attached to this yarn. One is from the center pole, one is from the outer pole, and so I can just see how many more rows I can get on each sock. One, two, 3 rows completed. The sock is done. Okay, so we have the other one here. It only looks a little bit bigger because I have not yet tried it on and stretched it out, but it is the same sock. It's almost exactly the same size actually, but you know what I mean. It just looks like a little bit bigger. Cute. Yeah, so okay, cool. Now we have a pair of socks if we wanted to. This is what we have left on just this specific ball of yarn. So this is 131 yards. So I'm gonna see. I think I can. Well, I can definitely at least get 1 more row on each sock, maybe 2. So that's what I'm gonna try to do and see just how much we can get out of this yarn. But if you were just here to get the tutorial for the pattern, all set. You're all done. Congrats, you've made your sock. I hope you enjoy it. And it's kind of cool because, like, for example, this one, it's like $2.49 per skein. So a pair of nice thick slipper socks for $2.49. That's fair.